Welcome everyone to this very first edition of an Ask Me Anything with our good friend Peter. Peter is the Chief Revenue Officer at TaxDome, and I am thrilled to announce that we're going to be holding quarterly Ask Me Anythings with Peter to stay in touch with TaxDome, what their vision is, where they're going, how they're navigating the changes in the industry and the demands of their customer base. And today's the first of these sessions. So we asked you in this group recently to share the questions that you would ask Peter. And I am here today to ask those hard questions of Peter and maybe make him squirm a little bit. So let's see what we can do there, huh?
Thank you so much,
Peter,
Jamie, for having me.
yeah, so
Super excited to be here.
Yeah, would you take a minute and just share with us your role in TaxDome, what you do, and how long you've been with TaxDome, how you came to be with TaxDome, and maybe a little bit of your vision for what you're doing within the TaxDome walls.
Of course. Where do I start? First of all, my name is Peter. I'm originally from Austria, so that's why you hear my German accent.
And you live where?
Actually, I live in Colombia because
Yeah.
my partner, she's Colombian. But right now we're in Denver, Colorado. I joined TaxDome 4 years ago. So I think it's my fifth year or fourth year at TaxDome. I had before my own company. I had a little exit, and then we got in touch with the founders and we got along very fast, very good. And when I saw the product and I heard the vision of the founders, I was immediately convinced. I knew that this is going to be something big. It's going to be game changing, going to disrupt the whole industry. And I was from the very first day on board. We're growing since minimum 2x every year.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch the journey of TaxDome. So I've been with, I think you and I came on to the TaxDome scene. You, of course, much more intimate than I, but we came onto the TaxDome scene about the same time, and it's been amazing to watch. I remember the first time I saw the tool, I was like, holy crap, like I want to run my business in this tool. And we're floating some ideas around how we can do that, but it's such a powerful tool that is so customizable, and yet the customizability of it is, while it's its power, it's also the challenge, right? And that's why we're here. That's why we help people to see what it can do, because the magic is in there. You just have to understand how to pull the magic out. And yeah, I love that. I'm going to, oh, Kendra, I don't know if you would mind. I think you might not be muted. There we go. There we go. Okay. And so I have questions for you, Peter. And there are some bigger questions and some that if you're not comfortable answering them, I understand. But you, and I will say TaxDome in general is always very transparent about the vision, where you guys are going, how you do things. And I admire that about the culture that you have built within the company. And the first thing I wanted to ask is really a kind of a higher level question. And so TaxDome, been around since 2017. Victor and Ilya, the Redzinski brothers, went out on their own, started building this tool. You, as you mentioned, came on about 4 years ago. So that would be, I don't know.
I think to end of 2020.
Yeah,
I joined. Yeah,
exactly. So they've been on for about 3 years. They were just starting to make traction. People were like, oh, this is a cool tool. And people were starting to be like, okay, this is something. They had a vision. Can you just share with us what that vision was in 2017 that got them going, that has helped sustain them to this point? And then I would love, after you share that, to share with us what the vision is going into maybe even like the next 5 years and where TaxDome sees themselves going.
Okay. So thank you for the question. So it's funny because we have our internal quarterly reports. And when our founders, when Victor comes and shares his slides, the vision is always the same. It's from since 2017, when they had the idea about creating TaxDome, it has never changed. And the goal is to create a software which accountants and their clients enjoy using. So this is the overall high level vision. And how to do this is that you can use one tool to do all your firm operations and your clients to have one tool to provide a great client experience. So this is how we work. This is how we operate. This is how we think. This is how we do research. Everything around what we do every day since years, and we will continue doing this for years, This is how we approach it. We think, is this something scalable for our firm? Will they enjoy doing it? Will they enjoy using it? Yes, then let's do it. Is this good for their clients? Will it make them look good in front of their clients? Yes, we do it also.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
And your second part was, how does it look in the next, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah.
There's no changes. So I can tell you all, TaxDome is a private company. We are bootstrapped. We are in business language, it's called customer funded business, where we grow from revenue from our customers. And how we grow is by product led. So what does it mean? It means the normal SaaS company, software as a service company, they invest around 20, 30% in research and development, in engineering, or in the product. At TaxDome, it's between 60 and 70%. So all the money we generate, all the revenue we generate, we actually 2/3 we reinvest into the product. So we always think, okay, is this going to increase our ACV, our annual contract volume? Is this going to help our firm to remove? Is this going to help our customers to remove another tool what they're paying for, and then they can use it in TaxDome? And if this all checks the boxes, then we do it, and that's non-stop. So there are a lot of things, big things coming. Those ones I cannot announce, but definitely something we will always focus to make your life easier.
Yeah. I think that is something, we got a lot of comments of people saying, why is pricing not more flexible? Why is it so expensive? I would love to see it be discounted for this or for that. I have my own personal opinions on why people think that, and I would love to riff with you on that to maybe help change some opinions. But I think you just clarified why TaxDome holds the line with their pricing at what they have. They've only, for $800 a month, guys, like, it is affordable. Like that, to have a tool that takes 10 to 15 hours a week away from each and every team member doing their work, allowing them to be more efficient and have less administrative efforts, able to focus more on the client, more on actual service delivery, and even skill advancement. That $800 is a small investment into a team member. And is my opinion. So I would love to hear how you guys think about it.
So look, it's a very important point to address. So first of all, we think that we're very affordable at TaxDome compared to other products with the benefits they get at TaxDome. We think that we're very affordable, and the service we provide on top of the product, in my opinion, there's no better product out there who provides so fast and good customer support, which releases so many features. Every nonstop we release features. We listen to them. We hold webinars. We educate them. We have the biggest education or help center probably from all the tools in the industry. And if you think that TaxDome is too expensive for you, then this can have several reasons. Either you're not utilizing, you don't see the value of TaxDome, you're not utilizing it the way you should, or you're just not there yet. There are many products out there which address the lower market of the industry. And I think that's super, that's great, because there are tools for the downsized market and for the up market. And we see ourselves as middle class and an up market too. And this is where we provide the most value. And always, guys, also remember, with TaxDome, we also focus how you look in front of your clients. And there's no tool out there who does this. So if you want to look as a tech-savvy, modern, futuristic practice or a firm in front of your clients, then TaxDome is the tool you can, show this.
I think you nailed it, though. I think that you nailed it, in that if people think that it's too expensive, they're not utilizing the tool to its fullest capabilities, or they're not thinking about all the benefits that it brings, right? Like, there's no limit on data, right? Like, you can store 30 years worth of client data on this thing if you wanted to. I don't recommend it because you don't need that, but you can. There's no limit on data. There's no limit on signatures. There's no limit, you don't have to have any additional softwares that a lot of other softwares do require you to have to get e-signatures and to get invoicing out. Like, those eliminating those softwares is nothing. So it's definitely valuable. I do want to,
Jamie,
yeah,
just one thing I want to add is, if maybe it's not just the best timing, maybe you don't have the time to research for the tool. And I recommend you, if you don't have the time, if you don't feel comfortable to sit down and research a practice manager operating system you want to use for your firm, then don't make a decision. And if you don't have the time, then commit to a lower quality product or lower price product. That's
right.
absolutely okay. Once the time comes, then you can always come to us. We will never say no, or we have many firms who come to us. Let's say last year, when a firm comes to us, hey, I feel like I'm not ready yet for you guys. That's fine. And today they are here with TaxDome after a year. So that's absolutely okay. Yeah. We will just continue growing as a product, benefits, and services.
Yeah, I agree. I want to correct one thing. Rocky said $800 a month. No, it's $800 a year. I may have misspoken in my rant, but it's $800 a year. So there is one question that we have here, that with the price increase, are you seeing a reflection in people downgrading? Do you guys anticipate any additional price increases in the future? And I don't want to lock you in on any things today, but just like you guys are running a business and things are getting more expensive. So how are you guys managing people needing to downgrade because of inflation and cost increase of running a practice, and also any price increases in the future? I guess those are two
it's a great question. Finding a price in a software is quite difficult. And how we approach it is, if we look at the total numbers. So let's say we have 10K plus firms. And if 500 of them complain and 900 or 15,500 don't say anything, then we know that we're actually still cheap.
Yeah.
But if more than 50% complain, then we know, okay, then this may be not the best approach. About downgrading, I personally, so first of all, I want to share with you that we have more than 95% retention rate. So usually firms, when they come to TaxDome, it's very rare they leave. It's a handful per month maybe. And the reason is because they paused their practice, they sold it, or they closed it because they retired, or something happened. Just something happened, or they had a merger or something like that. Firms don't leave to a competitor or down. It just doesn't happen. And there's a reason for it, because we always show every week, every 2 weeks when we release features, we show the value they get. And when you subscribe for $800 a year, within those 12 months, just think about when you started TaxDome, and after 1 year you paid $800, where TaxDome is. Yeah. And then think about where other vendors, I'm not going to say any names, just think about where other vendors are, where you pay a year and you still use the same tool after a year. And then you think about if it's the value worth or not. Regarding price increase, as we told you guys, we are very transparent. Why? Because we are private. Everything increases. We're not planning to increase anything this year, but I'm thinking about it to increase it next year. Why? Because all the tools and features you see inside TaxDome, we operate with other tools inside. It's inflation, salaries increase. Yeah. So and remember, guys, we are customer funded. Yeah. So we live from your revenue. If we don't increase price, we just cannot deliver and promise you the same quality and service as we do. So yes, we will increase the price. It's not going to happen this year. We will be announcing new plans this year, but the price for $800 will be the same with the features you have. Yeah. Next year, I'm thinking about to increase the price, and I want to be super transparent about this, because this is one of our values at TaxDome, that we will always have this transparent communication.
Love that. And if you, as a business owner, you have to make these decisions. You have to raise your prices for your clients as well at times. And most people do raise them 5 to 10% every year. Like, it's just what they do every year, because salaries have to go up and your technology increases and your power increase. All of your inputs increase in the price, and you have a cost of good that you have to sell. Just like that, TaxDome does too. It's important to keep those things in mind. And I appreciate the transparency, and I love that as a value. And if you're freaking out because you're like, oh my gosh, TaxDome's going to raise their prices, you need to be thinking about how do you Oh, sorry, we have someone unmuted here. You have to be thinking about, how do I implement a technology fee for my clients, or a technology cost that is part associated with me delivering my services? It's like credit card fees, guys. It is a cost of doing your business. So if you're not adding that in to what it costs for you to deliver the services and then have a margin on top of that is your profit, you are not running a business. You are running a charity. And that is not okay. You're giving away your time. And I don't know. There's so many things we can go into that we won't go on today. But
Yeah, just also on top of that, please everyone value your time, value your work. It's so important. I've been now many years, not many years, but a couple of years now in the industry, and I've seen such smart minds, such great services, such great firms. We have more than 10,000 firms. I have so much knowledge now about how firms operate. And I always tell them, please value your time. You're underselling yourself.
Yes.
And what happens when you undersell yourself? Firms will not value you. They feel like, whatever, Jessica, she's using the same price since 3 years. They will not value you. If you use, for example, new technologies, you add on new services, don't be afraid to add your price and pricing. They will actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
And those who don't appreciate it, you don't want them anyway, because they're not the ones who refer you. They're not the ones who give you a Google review. Only the ones who will be with you, appreciate your service. They're going to be also the ones who grow with you and will help you grow.
Absolutely. 100%. The one resource in this world that you cannot get more of is your time. That is the only resource that you cannot get more of. We are burning our timelines down every single day, guys. And every day that you give away an hour for free, give away a service for half price, devalue your time, you are just spending the only resource you can't get more of. You can learn how to make more money. You can find ways to find new staff, but you cannot, your own personal time, once that's gone, it's gone. So just keep that in mind. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I'm going to make some changes in my life because I'm not doing I'm not valuing my time appropriately either. So expect more of that from me on social medias. But okay, so this was great. I want to ask a question. Jen Farb, and you commented on this question in the send us your questions list, but she asked, how do you plan to maintain the wonderful culture that you have in TaxDome and the excellent customer service as the business continues to get bigger and more tax firms come on board? You guys have grown massively, as you said, over the last several years. And I would love for you to just share what it takes to support the 10,000 plus firms that you have today. And if you're willing, maybe where you guys see yourselves going to support the massive influx that you have of firms coming in and expect to have over the next several months, especially here in the States.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, maintaining is a great word, but we live it. We live it inside of TaxDome. So as you hear me talking, with every one of us cares as much as I do. There's no one in the company who doesn't care. And I believe if us management cares about our team members, they will as much care about you. And this is how we live it as a company. And about the culture is we didn't aim to create it wasn't on purpose to create a great culture. It's just that it comes, you cannot force a culture. It comes naturally.
Yeah.
And every time when Ilya or Victor, we sit down and start talking, man, it's so nice. Every customer, when we meet them, they say, I love TaxDome. How can you love a software? And then it's no, because we love every day we wake up and we love what we do, every one of us. And to see this also from our customers of those more than 10,000 firms is just amazing and beautiful. And obviously, I wish we could address everyone with the same love and culture. It's just impossible, but I can assure you, we work very hard to reach this. We have increased our customer-facing team. There are now more than 100 people. We more than 400 people at TaxDome. And maybe a lot of people don't even know that we're more than 400 people at the company.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. And it is a lot of work to make them feel appreciated. And then they will feel you appreciated. And that's how we approach this. About the future, nothing is going to change. I can tell you all, we have no plans to sell. We have no plans to take investment. TaxDome is going to stay this private company as it is today for sure over the next years. We don't even know if we're going to go public. No, all those things, we don't even think about it because we just enjoy right now the growth, the appreciation we get from you and from our team. And what we do right now, one thing I can share, actually, it's important to share, is how do we ensure to scale this culture is that we now started ambassador program. So we actually want to, you as our customer, because everyone comes to us and says, oh, I love it. You guys are great. Great. Then help us share this culture. And I think this is how we can make sure that this great culture, as Jen explained it in the Facebook comment, stays on this high level.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think,
and it comes actually even more natural because people would think it's out from us, it's forced, but it isn't, as I mentioned at the beginning. But if the industry says it, then it's even more organic and natural.
Yeah, it's great. And I was part of a corporation that grew. I was like, there were 80 when I got on board. And when I left, there were 550 and they were expecting to grow to 1,000 over the next 3 years. And it's, as an employee in a company that grows that fast, it is a challenge to maintain the culture. And especially when you start having more levels of management and like more inputs of ideas and, how do we keep things moving ahead? And I will say you guys have, over the last 6 months, I have seen the dramatic shift in the way in which you're running the business, the way that you have begun accepting responsibility when things don't go right, because tech's going to tech, so development's going to fail. It's going to happen. And I want to commend you guys for the way that you have done that shift. And it has been apparent to me as somebody who supports people that use this every day. But I think obviously it's apparent to the customer base. Yeah. So for anyone that is thinking about moving to TaxDome that's watching this video, I share that with you because there are not a lot of softwares out there that are continuing to invest into the development of the software and making it better. There are not a lot of companies out there that are developing investing into the customer support to the degree that TaxDome is. And that means that they start stagnating and they start having poor service, and then things start breaking and then they don't get fixed. And then the software literally dies from the inside out and people leave and they go to TaxDome. But I share that because if you're thinking about TaxDome, there's literally no other software out there right now that is investing into the product and into the customer support to the degree that TaxDome is.
And I appreciate this because you mentioned now 6 months ago, you saw a shift. As a software, it's quite difficult because in the end of the day, we are software. We are not an accounting firm. And many firms actually believe we have a team full of accountants. But why we did this is why you saw this big momentum, the direction, community and listening more or communicating more is because we were very invested in our development and the product. And there was a time where the founders sat together and then said, we got to do something because only product development is not going to make the product better. We also need to listen more. And that's why we make this big shift. We always did it. It's not that we never did it. Yeah. We just did it. We didn't do it as publicly as now. We did it more direct messaging, direct email through the portal for one-on-ones. And now it's just more like these big speakers on social medias. And that's why you see this change. And it's great. We love it. We love it. We actually have now, Jamie is part of it. We have now Slack channels inside our TaxDome where the product team you can directly communicate with our developers and product team. It's just, I don't think many tools do this. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
We just wanted to be part of it because we're so happy doing it. And you allow us also to be part of your firm with our support team, with trusting us as a client portal and all the data. So we want to show you the same trust and to be part of TaxDome.
Love it. So we have about 15 minutes left. I want to ask a few pointed questions about the direction and the features and enhancements that are coming from TaxDome. So I have a few questions, and if you can't share things, then that's fine. I understand, because guys, they have to be careful about how much they tell you is coming and how much they're working on. As Peter mentioned, they spend 60 to 70% of the monies that you pay them to make the tool better for you. But that development it doesn't always pan out the way you expect or have a timeline that you think is actually, if you say it's going to take 6 months to roll this piece out, it could end up being something that you then have to rebuild the whole back end of the tool to make that one idea that you guys had work. And so I want to share that for a lot of, or to people. And I would love for you to first start by, can you share with us how you guys identify what program or what features you're going to work on? Because when people look at the feature requests, they're like, I submitted 3 years ago that I want scheduled messages, for example.
Yeah.
And when I say that, a lot of people think you just pop in a little button and then it allows, can you do it in emails? You just pop in a button and it allows me to schedule more messages next.
Yeah.
But
So
can you talk about, like, when you guys say, okay, someone makes this request, how do you say, okay, we're going to look at this, we're going to determine, can we do this? And just walk us high level through the process so that they can understand how much it actually takes.
Of course. So I want to start from the fundament. So first of all, when you go to those smaller tech companies in the market, you may feel like your feedback gets implemented much faster, but also consider that their team is maybe 20 people or 14 people, and only our dev team is 250 people. So
it's
the
like
machinery
versus turning a speedboat, right?
Exactly. It's like this turnaround of feature set and engineering what we have running. And once it starts running, it's very difficult to add something or to pivot once you are, but still, as with 250 people engineering team, we still believe that we are much agile.
Yeah.
We are much more flexible than people which have 6 developers in their team. And to make this needed a lot of knowledge and expertise from our founders. Credits to them, because they set up this kind of environment. And how we approach those things of feature request and feature implementation are from, I see it from 3 pillars. So one is the feature request board. One is the vision, where we see which challenges we look. So what today we think about in 2 years ahead already. Yeah. What is going to happen in 2 years for you? What do we want you to, that you are happy to see in 2 years? And the third thing is the backlog. So we have the new features coming, the backlog, and our vision, what we want to drive to. And it's a mix. And sometimes everything fits together perfectly. And a quarter you would see, oh man, they developed it. But I can tell you, we actually planned it already to have it. When you request this feature, we thought about it already. So that's why it's faster on the market than you think. But sometimes we don't even think about it. And that's why we love working so close with you all together, because then you inspire us and ignite a great idea and say, all right. And then we think if it's a great idea, then we immediately try to turn around, as Jamie said, this big ship in this direction. What is okay, so did you ask what is coming or what features are coming?
I guess there's some things that are coming in the next several months that are pretty sure bets. Obviously timelines can change, but can you give us just like some teasers as to what's coming over the next several months? People are starting to gear up for preparing for next tax season. And I think letting people understand that there are some things that they're going to want to implement and that they're going to want to consider going into next tax season so that it doesn't surprise them. And
of course. So the many small adjustments which we're going to do. Yeah. For example, the PDF document viewer, like it's going to be a bigger screen, or the new Firm mobile app. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's out last week.
Yeah.
Roles, team and roles. So you can have access rights on specific, many little things. But what are the bigger things is definitely for our bookkeepers out there.
Can you tell us more?
You think about, you're paying right now for one thing as for, let's say, transactions, and you pay maybe for it, you pay for it, you will have it inside TaxDome. So many
like reconciling transactions,
uncategorized maybe. So
uncategorized transactions. Okay, so this is something another tool. Love that.
Exactly. So we definitely the next 12 months, definitely it's gonna be, we are working on 2 things where you will eliminate two more tools with TaxDome. I cannot tell you. I teased it already a bit. So this is something we're working on. So it's main focus on this. We're also thinking about AI. You saw the first version of AI is coming now. This is just the beginning. My personal goal of AI is that you don't even have to initiate a workflow anymore. So AI will realize if someone uploads the documents, or starts a proposal, something, AI will immediately start the workflow with all the automations. So this is something I envision, and we're thinking right now how to make this realistic. Then a lot of small not small, no, I'm actually making them smaller than they are, requests and things like this. So those are all something we are working on. Ilya always says to me, I need to be careful to talk too much, on a positive way, obviously. And we follow a principle at TaxDome. We call it under promise and over deliver. So we're going to tell you it's going to take a year because we did the mistake. I take the responsibility about the packages. I know we promised them last year in Q1. They still haven't come. We had to do some different things. There were other priorities, so I apologize. I take the responsibility for this. Things change in the software. It's going to happen. It's not going to be the first time. It's going to be not the last time. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time that it happens. Sometimes happens, and we learn from it. So that's why we under promise and over deliver. So sometimes when you think we don't know what's coming, it's going to happen, and we're working on a public roadmap. So you will definitely soon see what is coming in maybe 3-6 months ahead. That's something we are very focused on this. Why? Because we see ourselves now as the global leader in practice management. Mm-hmm. And we know that there is no one who can develop as fast in this quality as us. So that's why we want to position ourselves. All right, we're doing this. What are you going to do? Are you going to copy us? Or going to be faster than us? Mm-hmm. We will see. So this is something like where it's about positioning and branding as a software in the market, because as you guys compete maybe with each other, we compete with other tools, which millions over millions have funding, over 100 million fundings. And please always remember that we have zero funding and we are still leading the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Can I ask you about a couple? You can just yay or nay them. Maybe you can just help people set some boundaries in their brains with what is coming and what's not, because there were a few specific ones that I wanted to ask on, and they're integrations specifically, but if you have any information for people, maybe you could just give those. One is the communication enhancements. So like that universal communications tab that you guys worked on had to pull back because it didn't work the way you expected.
Yeah, so we're working on global communications. You should have, maybe you saw some screenshots already, some around. There will be an on tab about communication. All the communication should be there. It should be cleaner and easy access. And the next step is that we want to have that you can communicate within TaxDome. So you shouldn't need Front or Slack or some other teams. Yeah. You will be able to do this inside TaxDome.
Beautiful.
It's a big thing. Yeah.
Cool. So that's in progress.
We're working on it.
Okay. In progress.
So the first, it's definitely in progress. We're just gonna release it as we everything do iterative.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. The next one was Zapier AI and improving Zapier integration. So there's a lot of tools out there that people want to be able to either pull information into TaxDome or out of TaxDome to trigger other actions elsewhere. What is that on the roadmap or something you're working on?
Absolutely. So I can share that the accounts we're working on we right now have the contents. I know it's very limited. Yeah. Account is the next step, and then step by step we're gonna roll out more action triggers.
Okay, cool. That'll be great. Direct integrations with tax softwares. So we had some people, I sent you an email, someone had been shared that was coming, the specific integrations with Drake or UltraTax or those types of integrations. Is that on the roadmap for TaxDome? I'm curious.
I cannot share anything about this. So it's why? Because if we talk about tax softwares, we work with big companies together. There are NDAs and it's a long process. There are a lot of, remember, those are very experienced companies, where you don't see a lot of feature updates like at TaxDome. So think about how fast those things maybe go for them.
And I want to share too. So I spent in my 10 years in healthcare IT, we did a ton of healthcare integrations because healthcare went through the same thing that tax is going, or the industry is going through, the tax and accounting industry, where everybody was moving over to electronic records. That meant that there was all these softwares that people were getting, and they were databases, and they were storing all this information. And they're like, well, I want to be able to send from this software to this software because my patients are being transferred to a specialist, for example. we would build the integration that happened in between them. And there had to be literally these translators in the middle of them that we had to build out that took years to build out, because this one speaks Chinese and this one's over here speaking Spanish. To get those two systems to talk together and do it automatically by sending a little piece of information from here over to here it's like, there's a reason engineers get paid so much money, guys. It's a huge amount of effort, and it took months to get sometimes one small piece of information out. And then you have to consider that there's lines and hundreds of lines of information that you want to get out for every single transaction that you're trying to produce. I just want to like help people understand what the scale of these projects is. And as Peter mentioned, they're all on different languages, and to work with them and then navigate just the project of that is no small feat. So
and also they have limited resources too. You guys need to understand. The other tools have limited resources too.
Yeah.
So even if we are the ones who push, it doesn't depend on us.
Not a priority to them. Yeah, you're better to just say this software does this for me and TaxDome does all this for me. I'm okay with that, and just adjust your processes to be able to make you more efficient. And we can help you do that at Workflows if you don't know how to do that yourself. The last one is Xero. So there's a lot of firms that have gone from QuickBooks over to Xero and are managing their own businesses and are looking for like a Xero integration similar to what we have with QBO. So is that something that you guys have on the radar?
Yeah.
And is it in the works?
No.
Okay.
It's definitely, we are aware of it. We want to do it. We will do it.
Okay. In the future.
Yep.
Those are all the questions I had. We're at time. I want to say thank you, Peter, for the riveting conversation today. I hope that everyone found value. There are some very exciting things coming within the TaxDome world. I got a little sneak peek of some of them when I met with Peter a few weeks ago. I'm excited for you guys. I too am sworn to secrecy, but know that these changes that they're making are only going to make your practice better. They're going to improve the way in which you serve your clients, and that's what their mission is. So if you have additional questions, we're going to do this again. I think in November is our next scheduled time to do this. So we'll get together again and you can submit your questions and we'll ask Peter, and hopefully he'll have some good updates about things that are coming that he can share more of, and we can ask him then. So
perfect.
Do you have anything that you want to close out with that I should have asked you that you're like, she should have asked me this?
No, I think everything is clear. Again, if you want to ask more questions, feel free to post in the TaxDome community. I'm also there in the community. You will see me posting around and liking posts or just doing some funny memes there. I appreciate those kind of things. Please never step back to ask. It's better to ask than just to assume. We're very transparent with those kind of things. It is one of our company values to communicate in a transparent way. Why? Because again, we're private. We can do actually what we want. We don't have any investors behind us who tell us, hey, no, you can't do this. This is another branding. So we are, as you see the company, this is how we are actually. And please just continue trusting us. We trust also a lot in you, that you provide us with the feedback we need. Please keep up the communication, continue sharing TaxDome. Our growth of TaxDome, maybe something I wanted to mention is, with TaxDome, we don't do a lot of marketing. So you will not see a huge ad of TaxDome. We grow organically. And how we grow is that you guys go out there and share about the great experience you have with TaxDome. Over the last month at the event, I have met so many of you. I think over 300 people. We had customer dinners with over hundreds of people, of customers. It was just so special to meet you all. Just continue as special as you are. We all appreciate you. And I'm really looking forward for November to have this chat again.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Peter, for your time. And we'll see you all again in our next chat. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.